Hello and welcome to the Fairfax Scene. I'm your host, Rachel Roth. Well, 50 years ago, a simple dairy farm in the Catskill Mountains of New York became the setting for arguably one of the greatest cultural gatherings of all times. Of course, I'm talking about Woodstock. And in honor of that festival of peace and music, the city embarked on its own Aquarian exposition with 3 weeks of peace and arts. Here to share some of the highlights with us is Megan Dubois, Cultural Arts Manager.
So this year's Spotlight was the 34th anniversary, and we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. Woodstock happened in August of 1969, and we thought it would be great to bring a little bit of Woodstock into the town of Fairfax. So this year we had a bunch of really fun things. We had everything from a student recital up here in Old Town Hall. We also had a saxophone quartet, a euphonium group, all up in this beautiful library. In the Sherwood Center, we had a fashion show, we had a rock band concert, and we had Main Street Band do their annual performance there. We also had a theater company move in and do their show, and it was called Hain't So, and it was about ghost stories from Appalachia. It was an original play that was written by a member of the cast, and it was a really cool play. That actually took place in 1969 too, so it was a fun tie-in for the 50th anniversary. So there were great events at Mason like Jeffrey Siegel, piano. We also had a music fest which celebrated all of the music that happens at Mason. There is something for people of all ages, whether you like visual art. Like you can see behind me, we had art with the Fairfax Art League. They did an exhibit. There's also stuff for kids. We did tie-dye with Fun Day Monday for the littlest ones. We had rock concerts outside. We had theater. Spotlight is all about making us aware of what is already happening in Fairfax. So we already have these great art happening down at the high school with the beautiful musical and all our great community bands and community theaters. It's just making the public more aware of the fantastic art that happens in Fairfax year-round.
There's no doubt that music is powerful and inspirational. At Fairfax History Day, storyteller and musician Calvin Earl gave us a sample of some beloved African American spirituals.
Row the boat ashore, hallelujah.
I wanted to somehow honor my ancestors, and I realized that the music they created was dying off. And no one really understands the secret codes that are embedded in the songs. Like Wade in the Water.
Wade in the water, children, wade out in the water, God's gonna trouble the water.
The slaves didn't tell the kids then, well, you know, when you try to escape when you're an adult, all you have to do is find a body of water. Go, what happens if you tell your child something? A small kid, first thing you know what my mom said? If I go and wade in the water, you know, you can't find me. No, they just would sing the song over and over, and that became a part of them as they were growing up. So when they got out and tried to escape, and they could hear these bloodhounds chasing them, you know, it's like in your DNA. If I can, all of a sudden you realize, if I could just find a body of water, I'm going to be safe. God's going to trouble the water so the bloodhounds can't pick up your scent. They needed a way to teach their young. And they taught them through the songs they created. And so before it all died, I wanted to somehow get it declared an American National Treasure. So I had this idea and a dream that I took my dream to the United States Congress. And I asked them to honor the slaves for their contribution to our nation with our deepest gratitude and respect, and recognize the African American spirit as a national treasure. And I got a unanimous vote in both the House and the Senate in 2007, and that's what it is now.
Michael rowed the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael rowed the boat ashore, hallelujah. What do you think?
Part of the fun of the Spotlight on the Arts Festival is learning about different expressions of art. Here, the Chesapeake Region Lace Guild will give us a glimpse into their craft.
You can make all kinds of stuff with tatting. This is the lace that was made in Ipswich, Massachusetts in the 1700s. And would you believe that at one point, there were 600 lace makers in Ipswich, Massachusetts that were exporting this lace. We know this because they sent their inventory to Alexander Hamilton when he was Secretary of the Treasury. And the original patterns are actually at the Library of Congress. So here's the lace that I'm working on. So here's the original sample from the Library of Congress, and then this author, Karen Thompson, has examined this under a microscope, figured out how to reproduce it, figured out the pattern, how to follow the pattern, and then this is the pricking that is the pattern that's here on this roller pillow to show how to move the bobbins following this diagram. So you only use 4 bobbins at a time and only do 2 stitches, believe it or not, even though you come up with lots of different patterns. So you either cross the bobbins like that or twist them like that, and then use the pins to hold the spot that keeps the lace in the right position. So I'll just do a couple stitches across here so you can kind of get a feel for how the bobbins move. So I'm doing this with black silk thread, which is what this particular lace is made out of. And you're just in the process of moving the bobbins and moving your thread across like that.
Up next, Lanier Middle School received a great honor from the National Wildlife Federation. They are the first school in the nation to earn permanent green flag status. Here's why.
This journey all started in 2009 when we were the first school to start the Eco Schools USA program here for school to begin it. We had just finished renovation and we had the piece of land that was unattended. We converted the entire courtyard into an outdoor classroom which has different ecosystems. Kids are always in the 4 walls of the classroom. I wanted to take them out of that 4 walls. The learning needs to happen outside the 4 walls. And in the process, we are inculcating creativity and critical thinking. We are raising global ethical citizens. We are teaching them how to be communicators and collaborators. As an adult, it's our responsibility to give this nature back to them. We are the ones who will give it back to them because we have taken it away from them.
Today I see how big the impact that trees had. This is not just for planting or just for the views. That had a bigger impact. Felt cool down hands-on, not just in class where you're just reading the stories or in the lab book. You actually get to do it.
If every kid understands the human impact and to the planet Earth, it would be a good thing. And each one of us can learn and grow from our experiences. It's not just this one award, but this whole process and what we have raised kids, that's the real joy. That's the real joy.
Clearly, environmental awareness and sustainability is important here in Fairfax City. In that spirit, an Earth Day Bash was held on April 28th at Daniels Run Elementary School.
This is the city's way of engaging with citizens for Earth Day, and our Environmental Sustainability Committee has organized this event along with the Girl Scout Troop 2067 and the group that is trying to prevent the loss of monarch butterflies. So it's a collaborative effort here today.
Our booth is to teach people about the monarch butterfly and how they can garden for monarchs right here in their backyard in Fairfax City. So we're giving away butterfly weed today. That's a host plant for the caterpillar. It's great if your yard is pesticide free. That will help both the caterpillars and the pollinators. We have a lot of takeaways for people and can answer any questions that they have.
It is a day where you celebrate the earth and you take care of the earth by picking up trash and you put it in the right buckets.
We are learning about how to protect the environment, how to reduce our consumption of energy, and how to protect the earth for future generations.
Before we close, we wanted to give you a preview of what's on tap for Rock the Block this season. Mark your calendars now. Rock the Block happens every fourth Friday, May through October. Remember to check out the city's website for all things happening in Fairfax City. And if you don't already, please follow us on social media at City of Fairfax VA. For the Fairfax Scene, I'm Rachel Roth, and we'll see you next time.